Okay. Oh, Abby, can we help you with something, sweetie? Oh, I can't hear you, my friend. Can you try again? Oh, I heard a little something that time. Can you type it in the chat, sweetie? Okay, then Mrs. Aubin will definitely get your question answered. All right. Good morning, my friends. We are going to continue our lesson from yesterday. So you need to make sure if you're at home, you have your EL book and that you're ready to go. That is not what I wanted. This one is the one I want. There we go. Okay, so yesterday we talked about overcoming learning challenges near and far. Up to this point, we were talking about access to school and materials, and we know that the new book that we're reading, My Librarian is a Camel, is a book that was written by a woman who was interested in that other people, other places, children around the world are interested in getting books. And they have a variety of ways that they get those books. And so yesterday we started learning about Kenya. And so we started these learning targets. I can find the gist of an informational text, and we know we've been practicing gist a lot, but we talked about yesterday informational text. How is informational text different from the other stories that we have been reading? How is it different than the other stories? Sunny? Because they're bringing books to people more than one way. Okay, so this book does talk about more than one way, but what is an informational text? I'll give my friends in the room a hint. If you look over on the blue, oh no, oh Mrs. Aubin might have a disaster going here. Informational text. Ellie, what does it say an informational text is? Give facts. It's a book that gives, or text that gives information about a topic. So is it a story with characters? Does it have, no, informational text. Did we have one character, one kiddo in the Kenya story yesterday, or in the Kenyan pages yesterday? No. Did we have a character, however, in Rain School? Yes, we had Thomas. Did we have a character in Nazarene Secret School? Yes. And there was a problem and there was a solution. So some of the things are similar, but we definitely, thank you, my team of helpers. Wowzer. See, if I didn't have a team of helpers right now, we'd have Mrs. Harrison running around frantically. So we are also looking for unfamiliar vocabulary. So yesterday we started to fill out page 37 in your workbook, and we're going to continue that along today. It looks like this, except for without your pretty red and blue. So we're going to look at the last paragraph that is on page 19 in your book. So everybody here, you have the printed version. So you're going to look at the back side where it has the camels right here. Let me go ahead and exit so my friends at home can see under my dock camera. It's thinking. All my friends at home, you need to take out your Kenya page. Cooper's ready. Thank you. Angelique is ready. Sunny's ready. Lucas has got it. Thank you, Mr. Max. My friends at home, hopefully you can see that well. Can you see that? I'll make it a little bigger so you can see. Can you tell Clara what she needs to? Oh, hi, Miss Clara. Good morning. You're going to need your EL workbook, and we're on page 37. We're finishing up page 37. Mrs. Aubin has the extra copies next to her. Miss Aubin has, there you go. All right. So on page 19 here, my friends are looking. It's the back side. So it's not the side that says Kenya, my friends, sitting at their desks. Does everybody see where we are? All right, I need a thumbs up for my friends in the room if they know, if they are right where we are. See where I'm pointing? Need a thumbs up if you know where we are. Good job, Gabe. Looking for Charlie. Good job, Charlie B. Charlie C's got it. Sawyer, do you see where we are? Do you see on the paper though, on the page where we are? Finn, you don't look ready, my friend. Can you put that away and can you take out your paper and have it right in front of you so you're ready to follow along? Yeah, but it's not ready. You're not reading it. You're not looking at it. Thank you. All right, my friends at home, here we go. I'm going to be using something called the Wheel of Names today. So you may get called on for an answer randomly, friends at home. You too are on the Wheel of Names. So make sure you are listening so you can help me out here. All right. So we are reading this paragraph here. We are looking for the gist of this paragraph. We are looking for any unfamiliar vocabulary, any words we are not sure about. We are also looking for, and then we're going to talk about the meaning of those words. So my friends who are at home looking at your screen, I see a couple people wandering. You're going to have to look at the screen for a moment because you're going to have to read along. Here we go. The students of Bula Iftin eagerly await the arrival of the camels. When the library caravan finally reaches the village, the children watch as the librarian pitches the tent and displays the books on wooden shelves. The librarian places the grass mats on the ground in the shade of an acacia tree, making a place where the children can sit. The students can treasure their new books for 2 weeks. When the library camels return, the children can trade their books for new ones. All right, so now we're going to be looking. We're trying to think about what the gist might be and any unfamiliar vocabulary. So I'm going to leave that there for my friends at home to look at. All right. And so who thinks they know? I would like everybody to think, what do you think that paragraph mostly talked about? What did that paragraph mostly talk about? All right, I'm going to try my wheel of, thank you, Mr. Jason. Never a dull moment, I tell you. Here's my wheel of names. Uh-oh, where'd it go? It's thinking. All right, you guys ready? See all your names? All right, here we go. Who's going to have an idea for me? Never a dull moment. Okay, Robert. Is Robert at home waiting to tell me something about? All right, Robert, unmute and tell me what you think this paragraph is mostly about. I can't quite hear you, Mr. Robert. You want me to show you here? I'll show you this paragraph again. Can you see it? What's the paragraph mostly about? You want some help from somebody else? Okay. Let's see who else can help us. Everybody in their head's thinking of an answer, right? In case it's you. All right, Mr. August, what do you think this paragraph is mostly about? Ah, very good. How they set what up to read? What is it they're setting up? A tent, and the tent becomes the library. Very nice. So the librarians, here we go, the librarians unpack the camels to set up the library. And then why would you possibly set up a library? To read. For who to read? For, so the librarians unpack the camels to set up the library for the children. There you go. You got all of those ideas smushed into one sentence that tells what that paragraph is mostly about. I'll try to make that a little bigger for everybody. Here we go. How about I make it a little bigger for that better? Yeah. Ooh, except for my little friends here in the way. How's that? Oh boy. Whoa. That is, there we go. All right. Does that help? Yeah. Can you also use your own words for that? Yes. So if you want to use your own words, but that's the basic gist of that paragraph, is the librarians unpack the camels to set up the library. What do? They take the tent off, they put the tent up, right? They take the books off, they put the books on some shelves. They take the mats off the camel that are protecting the camel and put them on the ground underneath the shade so the kids can sit by them, and put the, put everything out so the kids can pick the books. Did anybody see any words, unfamiliar vocabulary that they want to write in spots? Nick? Acacia? That's acacia? That's the word before. That's where in the story. Oh, where's last paper? Escaping to. All right there is the acacia. So let's read it and see if we can figure it is. The librarian places the grass mats on the ground in the shade of an acacia tree. Okay, Africa. Yeah, we have different types here. Yeah, the aspen trees and conifer trees and different pine. Yeah, oak trees. All right, balsa, cherry, trees, right? So do we have any trees that are different? No. I was really, if I had standardized, I got extra voices. I would definitely go and look and see if I can find an acacia tree and bullet and see images of an acacia tree. To see that, can you see a tree that I found pictures of? Your tell no. Are any other words that we might have? Pitches. Okay, then pitches the tent. What do you think pitches means? Is that what something most of us maybe understand? Pitches, Elena, what is that?
It means you set something
to set something up. Okay, so something like that. Very nice. Right, so get down, Miss Ellie. I'm going to try this one. Caravan. Does anybody see that? The library caravan finally reached the village. Caravan meeting. Caravan. Caravan, you have some rooms. Place right out right now. So imagine you can't, maybe we can move you over closer, okay? A camera. So, because you see the word down there, kind of, and that kind of gives you enough. Okay, you're using those word parts. Okay. Okay, so it says, let's read it. Let's read the sentence again. When the library caravan finally reaches the village. Do they have any of those things that we've talked about so far? No. What do you think? So the group, the people, it could be. It's a line of people. A line. A caravan, one behind the other. All right, so a caravan. All right. I'm going with one word. Await. Await. So I'm going to read that sentence. It says, The student of Ifton eagerly await the arrival of camels. What does await mean? Ready? So you see that word wait in it, okay? So it is a kind of waiting, but think about the await arrival. The weight of the wheel of names. Here we go. Okay, so we're thinking about. All right, Max. So Max, what do you think await means in this sense? I'm going to read it one more time. The students of Bula Iftin eagerly await the arrival of the camels. Okay. So do you think they want the books to come? So when you await something, you look forward to it. So if you await lunch, you're looking forward to lunchtime. Oh, yes, ma'am. I can make it bigger. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. All right. So some of the words we're going to find in this book are some words that we have not heard before. Good vocabulary for us, though, because we're going to be learning about different places around the world. We're going to learn about new things. In fact, our affirmation this week is, I am ready to learn. So we're going to learn about different places in this book. And we may hear words like acacia and some other words that we've never heard before. We're broadening our horizons for sure. All right, give me a thumbs up if you are ready to move on, if you've got all of your boxes filled in so I can see who still needs a little time. All right, let's see. All right, Isabel's ready? It's like Claire ready? All right, hi Cole, I get to say hi to you earlier, buddy. I'm so glad to see you. Hi, Layla. I just get to say hi earlier. All right, anybody need any further time? Robert, how you doing? How you doing? I can't see him all one, sir. Robert and Ben, how you doing? Okay, I can also take a picture of this and upload it to today's assignment. It's not finished, so that you get it done. All right, everybody here already? I don't hear. Why don't I hand it to you guys down there? And then you guys can. I'll take a picture of it, friends, and upload it to today's assignment. So if you're at home and you didn't quite finish, I will make sure that you get that. All right. But we're going to go ahead and move on, my friends. We are going to, not quite yet. So, guys, I would prefer if we don't call out. Thank you. All right. Thank you, my friends. All right. So we're going to move on to some new, to another section of our story. We're going to take a look at that section that's up in the right-hand corner. Another teaching, learning opportunity right here. So I'm going to try to get it, zoom in a little bit closer for my friends at home. All right, everybody take a look at this section right here in this upper right-hand corner. Everybody's got it? Mr. Josh, looking at it on your desk. Ms. Bird? Okay, everybody can have, Mr. Finn, this needs to be in front of you so you can read it on your desk. Thank you. All right, looking like everybody here is ready. Okay, the Republic of Kenya. So we are talking about Kenya. The capital is Nairobi. The estimated population when this book was written was 32 million people for the whole country. Quite a few people. They've got a picture of the flag there. And now we're going to learn a little bit about the country itself. Kenya is a country in East Africa. Kenya's climate varies. The coast, which lies on the Indian Ocean, is hot and humid. Inland, the climate is temperate, but the northern part of the country is dry. The official language is English. The national language is Kiswahili. Hope I'm pronouncing that. I just hear it called Swahilis, but so there's an extra part to it, so I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. All right, so were there some words in there we need to look at? Probably. Okay, so I'm going to show you, we're going to go back to here, but I want you to look at this spot here. All right, so here's our map. Where are we located again? Where are we, Miss Evie? In the United States. Where is this part of the book taking place? Abby, where is this story taking place? I know I'm giving a hint so that everybody can be successful, right? All right, Ben, if we can hear you, where is our story taking place at the moment?
Kenya.
Kenya, very good. And what continent? Can you tell what continent, Ben, Kenya is in? What continent this one is?
No, I can't tell.
All right, who here can tell me? Max? Africa. Okay, so here's Kenya and Africa, and here we are in the United States. Pretty far away? Yes. So let's talk about its climate. So it said that the climate varies. Does vary sound like maybe another word that we've ever heard? Variety or vary. So when we have a climate, it's the usual weather of a place. Think about our climate. Is it hot sometimes?
Yes.
Yes. Is it cold sometimes?
Yes.
Yes. Can it be pretty? Can it be really super cold sometimes?
Yes.
Yes. Can it be, but does it get super hot?
No.
No, because we're in the mountains, it gets hot, but it doesn't get super hot. So the climate is the usual weather of a place. We're not expecting tons of rain. We're not expecting, we get snow. There are places that definitely get more snow than we do, and there are places that get less snow than we do. We have a real varied climate. And they have one too. It says the coast. So this part by the water. Do you guys see the water? Yeah. So here's the edge of, here's Kenya, and here's the water. If you look right here, so near the coast, this is the Indian Ocean right here. It's hot and humid because it's near the water. So it's really hot and there's lots of water by it. So when you're near the water, like when you're in Florida, some of those places it's really humid. And inside, but this part that's toward the inside of the continent is a little bit more even. It's temperate. Temperate means to be not too hot, not too cold. But the northern part right here is desert. It's dry. So where do you think our story is most taking place? Is it taking place over here? Is it taking place over here? Or is it taking place in the north, do you think? In the north, where it's really dry. And how do we know that? Elena, why? Because it's at the top, and the top is really hot. Well, I'm looking for another word. Dry. Look at it, very dry. Okay, so now that we know this information, we are going to use I hope all my friends here have their papers out because they're going to need to be able to look explicitly at the text. My friends at home, don't worry. I have posted the pages on this assignment, so you can always go back and look. And we're going to answer some questions about, thank you. We're going to answer some questions about the text using our ability to find it find the words in the writing, in the text. All right. So, and then we're going to determine the main idea of the whole thing. So right now we found the gist of each paragraph. We're going to find out the main idea of the whole article. All right. So you need to be on page 38 in your workbook. We're going to fill out some things on page 38. So my friends here just have to flip, or your friends there just have to flip. All right, looks like this right here. All right, we're going to use all of what we've read to help us fill in some sections here. All right, so first of all, we're going to be eventually finding out what are the challenges people face when learning and how are they overcome. So when we're learning, do we need books to learn? Not all the time, but are they very helpful? Yes, for sure. So where do we get this information? So we got it from this book. So we're going to write down our source. So our source is the name of the book. So My Librarian is what? Is a camel. So you're copying this down for me. My Librarian, and we're going to underline it. This is the title. My Librarian is a camel. Yeah, it goes right here where sources are, right here at the top. My friends at home, give me a thumbs up if you see where that goes. All right, good job. Okay, right here. Now, are we using the whole book today? No. Nope, we're not. So we are only going to say, we're going to say what pages we got it from. We got it pages from page 18 and page 19. And the reason that we're writing down our sources is we remember from what the lady who wrote the book did at the end, right? She gave credit to where she got the information. When you're doing research, which is what we're doing right now, we're researching. We are researchers. We are readers. We're going to look closely at our writing, at our reading. We are also researchers. And when we research, we have to say where we got the information. Josh, do you have all this down, bud? All right. And page 18, 19 for me too? Did you get the page numbers too? Okay. So we might be using this again in the future. Usually, do we use our note catchers again? Yes. To do some writing? Yes. So is it really important that we get our ideas down here? Yes. Because we always use our note catchers again. All right. So where is our learning challenge today? What am I going to write in here? As where is our Paxton? Kenya. So Kenya's going to go in there because that is where our challenge is today. And who has the challenge? My friends at home. Gonna give you, my friends should here should be looking at their text. My friends here, hint, hint, should be looking at their text and finding who is the one that's having problems. My friends at home, you might look in this section here, or I also see it here. Should I wheel of fortunate here? Let's see, who is having the challenge? All right, Charlie C. All right, so Charlie, I'll give you a hint again. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. Who is having this challenge about learning? The kids, right? The kids. And does anybody remember what the name of the place is? In that, what, Ellie? The weird name that was different to us. Close. Beulah Ifton. Yeah, Ifton. So we're going to say, is it okay, Charlie, if I call them students instead of kids? But you were right. They are the kids. Students in, and like Ellie said, Beulah. I'm looking right, just so you know, I'm using my text to write. I'm not just doing it from memory. So all my friends at their seats, should you be looking for the words in your own text? Beulah Ifton. You have all of the answers, my friends, right here in your piece of paper. All of the answers today are in here. I am not the magic keeper of your information. You are the ones that can detective it out. Okay. So we know what our source is. We know where this is taking place. We know who's having the challenge, the students in Bula Iftin. So is Bula Iftin going to be in the north part of the country? Yes, because we learned that that's where it's dry and we have the sand, right? Okay, so geographical features. Geo, if we were to look up in our base words or root words page that we have earlier in our book, we would know that that has to do with land. Geo has to do with land. Graph has to do with being able to write something down or to see something. So where is Kenya again? Where did we say it was? And can we find it on one of these pages? Who remembers what section it said where Kenya was? Where in our work, Marin? Up here, it did. So let's read that sentence again. Kenya is a country in East Africa. Should we write that down?
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to write down East Africa. Well, luckily I do.
I spelled it.
Here we go. East Africa. And what is the land like? What's that big sandy area like? What is that called when you have all that sand there, Cooper? It is hot, right? You're right. But what is the land itself or that area called? What do you think? Noah? Desert. So we're going to write desert. And where in the country is it? What section did we say? Well, it's East Africa, but where in the country, Paxton? So where in the country? So remember how we were pointing it out? In the north, yes. In the north. Because it's all, so if we thought about our climate, is every place in the United States like us? No. Is Florida's climate like ours? No. Is California the same as ours? No. So we have a lot of different places in our continent. So they have a lot of different, even in Colorado. Pueblo is much different than Durango, which is different than Grand Junction, which is different than Conifer, which is even different than Denver, right? Like you guys sometimes when you're here, you're like, oh, it's a perfect temperature. It's like 70 degrees. And then you go down to the city and it's super hot. And you're like, oh my goodness, I want to go back home where it's cooler. Even though we're in the same state, even we have some temperature. So in Kenya, they have desert, but not every place. But this is important to our story that it's desert, right? Because what is the challenge that the people are facing? What is the challenge to learning that we have? I'm going to let everybody think about it and look at their paper, or my friends at home, I'm going to let you look at this first paragraph. I'm going to read it again. The roads to Bula Iftin, 200 miles northeast of Nairobi. There's that northeast, so we kind of think, aha, we were right about the north, are impassable because of the desert sand, even for cars with four-wheel drive. But young people who live in nomadic villages in the area are hungry for books. So librarians use the most economical means of transportation, camels. So I see a lot of my friends were looking up here, but where should you be reading if you're sitting here? On your own paper, right? So what is the challenge that some of them face? I'm going to use my almighty wheel of names here. What is one of the challenges? Oh, Josh isn't here. Oh no, I'll have to keep going. All right. Dodged it there. All right, everybody's looking. I'll look at my friends at home are all waiting with bated breath. Noah. All right, Noah, what's one of the problems? What's the challenge to getting books? Hard for cars to get through. Everybody's filling out their note catcher, because if you're not filling out your note catcher when you are writing tomorrow, guess what? You won't have the info you need to write. Tomorrow you've got to write a paragraph. I'll give you a hint. Tomorrow you're writing a paragraph, and guess where you're getting your information? From the note catcher. Mrs. Harrison and Mrs. Aubin always want you to have the information. All of the assignments that we've had so far that you've had to write all came from having notes in a note catcher. Henrik, are you all caught up, bud? You got it all? Okay. So let's think, are there any other problems besides it's hard to get for cars to get through? What else is why is that a problem? Why can cars not get through? Why can the cars not, Lyric? The sand covers the roads. The sand covers the roads. Oh, it's all, sorry. It all looks all weird when I put the book under there. Sand covers the roads, doesn't it?
There is no road. There's only sand.
Well, no, they have roads, but the problem is that because it's a desert, it's hot and it's probably windy. Does sand move around when the wind?
Yeah.
Definitely. So it's covering the roads and those tires can't get through. But what's the other challenge that they have? What are those nomadic village kids? What is their problem that they have? What is the problem that they're having there? Anybody at home? What is their problem? Lila, what is their challenge?
Their challenge is it's that they're hungry for books.
They are hungry for books. I like how you used the exact text. Was that explicitly using the text?
No.
Yes, you went directly to those words and found those. They're hungry for books. They don't have lots of books. The children don't have access to books. Now, why did we say that? Why don't they have big shelves of tons of books? Yesterday, we talked about why they don't do that. Why do they not have, like Mrs. Harrison at her house, bookcase with books filled all the shelves? Why do they not have that, Ellie? Their village moves around, and so they're not taking their books with them because they have to take their house with them. And if they're moving from place to place, they don't have much room for books to have. So they don't have their access to books because they're constantly moving. Remember, does anybody remember that word from yesterday that had to do with moving around? My friends in the room have a slight advantage because it's on my vocabulary board back there. Do you remember, Haley? Nomadic. Good, you didn't even peek, did you? Nomadics. They have nomadic villages, right? So they move around. All right, my friends at home, do we have our challenges written down? Miss Clara, are you good? All right, Jensen, do you have all those written down, my friend? All right. Yes, sir. Isabella's good. Astria, you got all those challenges written down, my friend? Okay. All right, everybody here. Leo, are you good? Gavin, are you good? Ben, how you doing? All right, good job, Ben. Robert, how's it going? Got those things written down? Okay, my friends. All right, so now, how did we overcome our challenge? Well, keep going, Miss Eddie. How are we going to overcome the challenge? What did they just say? Uh-oh, well, we don't have any books. Tough luck. No, of course not, right? All right, so how did they overcome this challenge? All right, Miss Sunny? All right, so the librarians, right, use camels because camels are better than the cars, right, or a truck, to do what? To carry the books. Okay. Do they carry? Oh, I should ask. What else do they carry besides just books? What else do they bring? What else do they bring, my friends? This is a good time to look back in your book or look on your page. What else do they bring? What else do they carry? They have the books. And what else, Madison? The tents. Carry books. I'm going to write and tents. There we go. Why do we want a tent for the library? Why is that important to have a tent? Do you remember what it's like outside, Josh? Sandy and hot, right? And deserty, and there's lots of sun beating down on you, right? Do you want to hang out at the library if that's how it feels? No, they want the kids to be able to come and have a place where they can read, right? And that would be nice and cool. So they have that tent there. Okay, so that's one way they overcome their challenge. Why do they use camels? Why don't they just, I mean, we talked about that, you know, the cars can't go through, but why are camels in particular? Why don't they use horses or, you know, some sort of other animal like elephants? Like, why don't they use those, Gabe? Yes, they need less water. And how are they when they're moving? What are they? Is that going to put down? They need less water. And what else about how they move through the, Elena?
They live in the desert, so they're used to all the hotness and sand.
And sand, right? They can walk through the sand because that's what their body is built for. So camels can walk in sand. And don't need much water. Perfect. Nice job using the details, my friends. Good job. All those details come from right here. In fact, I'm going to see if I can combine two things so you can still see. There's that. Not quite. There. So it says in this paragraph here, library camels are on the road 5 days a week. They can carry heavy loads and need little water in the heat of the desert. I'm going to keep reading though to give you a hint. One camel may carry as many as 500 books, weighing about 400 pounds. A driver and a librarian divide the books into two boxes. They saddle them on the camel's back, which is covered with a grass mat for protection. A second camel carries a tent that serves as the library roof. So why else do they choose camels? Why else? Should we go back to we read the text again, but you can look at your paper again if you'd like. Nixon, why do you think? They can carry a ton. I like how you put that. They can carry heavy loads, right? So they can walk in sand and don't need much water. And the camels can carry heavy, what should we call them, heavy loads like the books and tent. We talked about how heavy books were yesterday, didn't we? Books are heavy. Good job, Robert. Keep working on it. Doing great. Books weigh a lot. They're heavy. Even though they're just made of paper, if you ever carried like a big box of books, they are heavy. And so if you remember, they said that they can carry almost 500 books, like 400 pounds. 400 pounds is yeah, it's a lot of weight. So it's good that camels can carry heavy loads. An elephant might be able to carry heavy loads, but would it be good in the sand?
No.
Would it be good without much water?
No.
Probably not. So the camels have the advantage of both of those things. All right. Okay, so we have these challenges. We have some that can overcome. Let's look at this last one here. So we figured out that it's hard for cars to get through, so the librarians use camels. This goes together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sand covers the roads, but camels can walk in the sand, or camels can walk in the sand well. Children don't have access to books, so the camels bring the books and the tent. What do we know from the text? What do we know about how the library gives the books to the kiddos? Let's add one more detail. Let's look at our text right here. What do we know about when they get the book? So my friends who are, I want everybody reading. So Finn, we're reading. Put away whatever you have in your hands, buddy. Do you have some? Okay. Then can you focus on the text, please? Because it needs to be in front of you. There you go. Miss Bird, we're on this page here. Everybody look on that second page. Look at that end of that third paragraph. What else can we write as a way that the librarians help the children overcome their lack of books? What do we see in that paragraph? A detail that we can add to our note catchers. What do we notice about what they do for the kids? Cooper? Okay, they return them and they trade them in. How often do the children get to have the books for? Abby? 2 weeks. So the children don't have access to books, but they borrow them. Mm-hmm. Running out of room, aren't we all? All right. Making that one short. Children borrow them for 2 weeks. So when the library leaves, do they still have something to read? Yes. So what do you think happens if the village moves? Because the village does move. What happens?
They have to leave their books behind.
Do you think they leave the books behind, or do you think the camels in the library find them?
They'll find them.
The library can find them, right? Yeah. It's not like here where we have one place for the library and you have to return them to that particular place, right? You can, the library is moving around as well, so it's going to help find the village. And is it going to get its books back? Yes. Can it give them new books? Yes. Isn't that kind of fun? It's a mobile library. Mobile meaning it moves. Automobiles. You hear that mobile in that word? Mobile. Mobile means to move. That's totally fine. Friends at home. Do you see how this here goes here? So each of these problems, each of these challenges is solved by what education came up with on my end? No, where did all the answers come from? The text, right? The book. All the answers from. So guess what in the future you're going to have to do? You are going to be asked to read something and be able to come up with what are the challenges and how do they solve them on your own independently. There's obviously be able to practice together, but you're actually going to be living yourself. Okay, I'm just trying to get how we're doing. I don't know if you've got these things written down here. I don't know that I have 5, but all right, let's see. here. How are my friends at home? Logan's done. All right. Gavin, need a little more time. Haley, you're good. Okay. Astria's good. Isabella's good. Claire is good. Jensen, how you doing? Oh, yep, definitely thumbs up. Cole's thumbs up. All right. Ben needs a little time.
I had to write on another piece of paper because I tried to write as small as I could, but I didn't have enough room.
Problem solving strategy. Good job. You were good. You didn't let the fact there wasn't enough room. Good job, friend. Nice job. All right, what did you do?
I wrote as much as I could on that one space.
Okay. Okay, so you could possibly solve the problem with a pen dip and put it and write it on another piece of paper, or you know, I will take a picture of this and have it available on our assignment. So if you don't have enough time to do it now, you can find it in a little bit and we'll get it on there. Okay, so I'm gonna switch gears for just a minute because I want to go back to my EL presentation here. Okay, so let's go back to this. Look at our learning targets for today. We're not done yet, but we have one more thing to work on. So I can refer explicitly to the text when answering questions about the text. Did we do that today? Yes. We went and we found exactly in the story where to put the things inside our note catcher. Okay, did we look at unfamiliar vocabulary already? Yes. Did that help us understand what was going on with the question, what the answers were to the question? Yes. So our last one here is I can determine the main idea of a text and explain how key details support the main idea. So on the bottom right here, we have one more box, don't we? We have one more box. And the box says importance of the library. This is where we're going to write the main idea. Miss Elena? So importance of the library. So on the page that we did over here, now I've lost it. On page 37, we did the gist of each part of our story. But today, we are going to find what we call the main idea of the whole 2 pages. Okay, so let's look at, maybe not. Is it letting me do it? Okay. So in your workbook on page 37, is that right? Yeah. Page 37. Where is it? Page 40. Everybody on page 40, let's look at, we have to come up with the main idea of the whole piece. So on page 40, it has this big old acre chart, doesn't it? It's going to tell us what a main idea is, and then we're going to come up with our main idea for the bottom of this page here. So let's read it together. I'm going to make it a little bigger so everybody can see it in theory. All right, here we go. Everybody at home, can you see it for me? All right. So the main idea is what a text is about overall. It's the important thing the author wants the reader to know. Does that sound familiar? Oh, can we put that pencil right here, Mr. Lena? Does that sound familiar? Let me read it again. The important thing the author wants the reader to know. Does that sound like the central message or the lesson that we did when it was a fiction story? Kind of, doesn't it? Yeah. Yes or no? I know. Okay. Well, somehow we're going to have to figure out how to keep up, my friend. All right. It's all right, though. You can use that. So we have, this isn't a fiction story, though, is it? So, but is the author trying to teach us something? Yes. Is it going to be quite like the fiction story taught us?
No.
Not exactly. But the author is obviously trying to teach us something. Otherwise, would the author write about it at all? No, they're sharing information. They want to teach us something. And the main idea is that most important something. So the author develops a main idea using details. Guess what? rewrote down those details just now. We wrote down some ideas from the text that were details that they gave us. Key details are information from the text that supports our main idea. So think about this. Main idea is the roof of a building. It's the overall thing above us, right? So the main idea is up here. And the walls that are holding up the roof are the details that are helping us understand that main idea, okay? Because the roof doesn't stand up without support, right? You don't have a floating roof or floating ceiling. You have to have something supporting it. So those details are the pieces that are holding up the roof, okay? And we wrote them in our note catcher. All of those challenges and all of those ways we overcame those challenges, those are the details. Those are the walls holding up the roof. So now we have to come up with a sentence that is our roof, the main thing that the author wanted to teach us. So sometimes the heading or the first sentence of the paragraph can be used as clues. If I just all of a sudden start teaching about, if I just start saying things about an animal and I don't tell you what the animal is, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, do you? So when you read a book, what's the name of the book if it's about an animal? Usually the name of the book is whatever the name of the animal is, right? Rabbit, alligator, porcupine. Usually the name of the book is that. Or in this case, do we know there was a heading that was at the top of our book? There was a heading. So should that help us figure out what the roof might be about? Definitely, that heading. And then if you look at the first couple sentences, they usually tell you what the main idea might be about. So as you read, you're going to think about the text and gather details to see if your focus and your thinking was right. Just like when we said we were drivers, right? As you're driving, you're thinking, what is this text about as you go? What's the main idea that we're going to have? Right, Miss Cerny, I'm going to need that piece of paper back because I got to write the bottom, okay? All right, thank you, sweetie. It'll still be up here, though. You'll be able to see it, but I just need it up here. All right, so we need to come up with a main idea of this piece, my last little section here. All right, so where does our story take place? Where? It's right here. Where does this take place? In Kenya. The children. You are. Did they overcome their challenge? Yes. Overcome their challenge. You know how I know these words here? Because they're in my note catcher. The children overcame their challenge with the help of who? The librarian and the camels. Sometimes do we need help overcoming our challenges? Yes. At school, who are some of the people that help you overcome your challenges? The teachers, right? Mrs. Woodland, Mrs. Ware, all of the people, like people in the office help us with our challenges sometimes at school. In this particular one, if we boil it down to one thing, is they overcame their challenge with the help of who? Did you notice it kept saying librarians in here? Librarians. And we noticed camels. There was a theme going there. Each one of these ideas is holding up our roof. And our roof is our main idea. In Kenya, the children overcame their challenge with the help of a librarian and camels. Yes, Miss Madison. That's certainly fine, yes. As long as you have the main parts in there, right? Camels, librarian, the where it's happening, right? Okay, tomorrow you are going to use this to help you write a paragraph. You're going to use your own words, but here's your notes. So you don't have to come up, you're going to have your things to read. You're going to have this information here as well, and your note capture to help you tomorrow. So my friends at home, if you're having trouble at all getting it finished, I will take a picture and put it up there so you can get it finished for me for tomorrow. All righty? All right, my friends, it's time to go. So I will see you guys at 12:45. Bye, my friends.
Bye, Miss Harrison.
Bye.